Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bad for Baseball, the baddest baseball podcast on the internet, presented by Betway. To my left here, I got co-host Nicholas Paleolog. I'm Adam Peddle, and today, guys, we gotta glaze some New York Yankees because what they're doing right now is absolutely unreal. Aaron Judge is popping the hell off. And as well, of course, it's trade season. We got to talk about the guys that are looking to get shipped, which teams are going to buy, and as well, some other funny stuff like Micah Parsons thinking he could be an MLB player. But let's get into it all. But first, Nick, how you doing? We were just talking about all the work we've been doing lately.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, it's a lot, but talking about baseball as a job is a pretty fun thing overall. So I can't complain too much, you know. At the end of the day, my 9 to 5 is effectively watching sports and drinking beer. So how could you possibly be upset about that?
Dude, and our new hobby now is we like to go golfing.
There you go.
And, we're just like, oh, man, let's get through all this, and then let's get to the golf course, shoot 9, and then we're shooting 18 this Sunday. So,
well, dude, I'll tell you who would be incredible at golf, and it would be Aaron Judge. Because with what this guy's been doing with the baseball bat, if that translated at all to the golf course.
That's what I'm wondering. Will it translate?
Well, okay, I think
I'm
it's
assuming.
Here's the thing, first off, he is just an overall athlete. So that is something that you got to factor in, right? So I do think that there's going to be a lot of transferable skills. And second off, did you ever see the video? I think it was at a Top Golf thing.
Oh,
Mike Trout.
Dude.
Mike Trout just legitimately hammering the shit out of that golf. Like that thing, if you haven't seen it, just look up Mike Trout Top Golf. I'm sure it will pop up. But yeah, like Mike Trout just destroys a golf ball for probably like 400 yards or something ridiculous.
Dude, and that's what I wonder because, like, I get in my head about, like, I got a baseball swing because, I used to play baseball in high school, and then I go to golf, and it's like, it's different, same but different.
Right.
And I'm wondering about these baseball guys. I saw Vladimir Guerrero Jr. We're Toronto Blue Jays fans, everybody. I saw Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on a golf course one time, and his golf swing looked exactly like his baseball swing, but I guess it didn't really matter for him. He just hammered it.
Here's the thing, man. Okay, and there's no disrespect to you, but, like, Aaron Judge and Mike Trout and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., like, these are, like, the athletes of athletes, and I feel like when you get to that level, it's just, like, it's transferable, you know? Like, if you can hit a 99 mile per hour fastball for 400 feet, like this little tiny ball that is just, like, not even moving, it's like, you can probably hammer it.
Yeah, I'm wondering how far, Mike Trout, how far did Mike Trout hit that ball?
I have no idea.
400?
That's what I mean, though. It's like a legitimately nuke, went off when he hit that thing. So that's the thing. Like with some of these bigger guys, like I would imagine that they can absolutely hammer it. I would love to see I don't even know how you do this. Like it'd have to be something separate than the MLB because I was thinking almost like an all-star thing. But it's like like if they did they had like a little pairing or something, Aaron Judge and Bryce Harper up against, Mike Trout and whoever or something like that.
Ohtani.
Ohtani, like kind of like what they, they've done that with football before, right? Where it's like, they did
Tom Brady and
Aaron Rodgers, and then it was two
PGA
golfers.
Guys.
Yeah, it was two PGA guys, but I'd love to see like some of these baseball players pair up and do that because I do think that they would be incredible.
Oh my God, the swings would be unreal. Because in football, like, it's not the same as baseball. Where baseball, literally, you are trying to hammer a ball as far as possible. I think it'd be hilarious to see that. I'd be getting my tickets.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%, dude. Well, we are going to talk about some football players potentially thinking that they could be baseball players a little bit later. But first, let's really dive into Aaron Judge and just the historic levels of dominance that he is putting on right now.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of the numbers this morning, man, and like I think that we are. I don't want to say that we're there yet, but I think that we are getting closer and closer to having a narrative that, this might be like a top 5 hitter of all time ever. Like I don't think that we're there yet, but that's the trajectory that we're on. And if you just look at the career numbers are insanity. It's the highest active OPS in the MLB right now, more than Mike Trout. He surpassed Mike Trout. And when you look at the last 3 years, what Aaron Judge has done, that is Barry Bonds level shit. Like, that's fucked up what he's doing.
Without the intentional walks, the intentional base on balls, you have a guy in the last 3 years with an on-base percentage in the low 400s.
Yeah.
In the last 3 years consistently, the OPS has hit 1,000 every single time. putting him at a career OPS of 994. That is messed up. And when I saw this, because we were doing research for this, when I saw this 9-year career, this guy's already solidified himself as a Hall of Famer.
100%.
He's 32 years old, but I wonder too, because and I'm not trying to throw any negativity on Aaron Judge, but he's such a big guy. He's had injury history in the past. They did some sort of, makeover with their regime towards preparing these big guys like Stanton and Judge in the last few years, and clearly it's working, especially with Stanton too. But you got to wonder, like, when will that sustain for the next little bit? Because I want to see this guy go on a legendary run.
Right.
A legendary run for a little bit and make those Hall of Fame numbers even better.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, if you do want to have that conversation of you're a top 5 guy in MLB history with the baseball bat,
you have to keep going.
You do need to keep going, right? Because when you look at some of those other guys, I know Barry Bonds has had his controversies and stuff, but like that guy basically did it for 2 decades, and
exactly.
There are some other players on that list of best OPSs ever that did it for almost 3,000 games worth of stuff, right?
Literally.
So Aaron Judge has definitely got to keep going. The injury stuff, I think that you can be worried about that, but I am also looking at the last 4 years. He has been relatively healthy for the whole time. In 2023, there was some minor injuries. That could also just be the fact that he's 31 years old, right? And this is going to happen, right? I think that, if Aaron Judge can play over 100 games in all of the seasons from here on out, that would leave him, missing a month almost every season. That to me is still
Probably
enough for him to, be in that conversation, to put up those historic numbers, because when he is on the field, there's no denying this is the best player on the field every single field that he steps onto. Like, that's what it is. He will always be the best guy. Depending on who he's matching up to, I don't care who the pitcher is, this guy is better than you.
Yeah. No, it's plain and simple. And he's a cog, a huge cog, in the reason why the Yankees are doing what they're doing. Also, Juan Soto,
right,
being in a massive cog. Those two guys, I was looking at the Yankees stats, their team stats in hitting, and those two guys alone have an OPS over 1,000. You got Judge at 1.135, Soto at 1.025. The drop-off next is Stanton at 779.
Yeah,
it just goes to show how much those guys are carrying the offense, and they're second in baseball in OPS right now. That's all you need. It's a top-heavy team, but that's all you need. Those two guys are threatening. And where would the Yankees be without Juan Soto?
Well, here's the thing, man. The Juan Soto addition, it can't go understated. And I think if you asked any baseball fan, any Yankees fan, assuredly they will tell you how much this guy means to their team, to their organization. I was looking at some stuff earlier just about having Juan Soto in front of Aaron Judge, right? Because there's that entire conversation. You need protection. You got to have, you need to bunch your good hitters together so that they can get that protection. They can, people will throw strikes to them. Juan Soto has the second highest on-base percentage in the entire MLB.
Classic.
0.1 points, by the way, behind Aaron Judge. So they're literally right there next to each other. And because he bats second and Judge bats third, the odds of Aaron Judge having somebody in front of him get on base is around 50%, because you also have your leadoff hitter as well, right? So the odds of having somebody on base in front of Aaron Judge when he gets up to the dish every single time is very, very high, and that is now forcing these MLB pitchers to, it's like, oh fuck, like I don't want to put two guys on base for Stanton, because at the end of the day that guy could absolutely go yard. So now I have to throw to him. And Aaron Judge is getting the most pitches in the zone that he has ever seen in the MLB. You'd think that, when he's putting up these numbers, you should be giving him the Barry Bonds effect. You just walk him, you don't throw to him, it doesn't matter. But they can't do that because there's guys on base. So it's like you're forced into this situation where if you're the pitcher, it's just a terrible spot, because now I have to throw to Aaron Judge. And he's going to fuck me. He's going to fuck me.
I'm kind of shocked he only has 5 intentional walks this entire season. I mean, even if you do have Juan Soto at second base and there's 2 outs, I'd rather face Stanton.
Well,
next, you know what I mean?
Well, if Soto's at second base, absolutely. That's the thing, though. If Soto's at first base, now what do you do?
Do you intentionally
walk a put a runner in scoring position to then do Stanton?
Maybe you might have to. You have to start treating him like Barry Bonds. Maybe teams start doing that. I certainly would.
Right.
I mean, we got to the point in Blue Jays. Again, Blue Jays fans. that, our pitching is so good. It's like we can't afford to have the one guy in the lineup beat us. So just walk him. Just walk him. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking on my ass, but I want to go back to that whole RBI thing and batting with runners in front of Aaron Judge. Dude had 75 RBIs last year in 106 games.
Yeah.
He's at 69 games now. 62 RBIs, leads all of MLB.
Yeah. No, it's insane. If you actually project out the numbers for a whole season, I think you're looking at like 148, 147 RBI. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. Like these are, eye-popping historic level numbers. And I mean, Mike Trout was always that guy in the early 2010s. It's like Mike Trout, best hitter in baseball.
Yeah, even leading up to like COVID, he was great. And then he started getting injuries.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? And now he's dealing with the injuries and everything like that. And, similarly speaking, when he is on the field, Mike Trout is one of the best hitters, maybe of all time ever.
Right.
But now Aaron Judge is taking that over, right?
Yep.
Like it feels like you're kind of passing the mantle over here to Aaron Judge because what he is doing is just truly, truly ridiculous. And obviously the Yankees are reaping the benefits right now. They are currently on pace to win 113 games. That would put them in the top 10 records of all time ever. They are doing just fucking insane stuff right now with the baseball bat and with the pitching staff too, right?
That's what I also wanted to talk about is the fact that, man, their offense is great. They got those two guys, but their pitching staff is unreal, and they're getting back Garrett Cole.
Well, that's insane. That to me is insane. I'm sorry to cut you off, but in the preseason, when we got the news that Garrett Cole was going to go down, I
had a bet that they'd win the AL East.
Yeah.
You had a bet that the Baltimore Orioles would win the AL East.
Yeah.
And then I saw Garrett Cole go down. I'm like, okay, that's like literally the rotation. The other guys are a bunch of question marks.
Yeah.
What's Rodon going to be? What's Cortez going to be? What's Marcus Stroman going to be? I pulled out that bet, and man, I'm upset.
Well,
I'm upset.
I mean, who could have predicted this? You can predict the Aaron Judge. You can predict the Juan Soto. You can say that their offense is going to be good. The fact that Gil, all of a sudden,
I learned it's Luis Heel.
Oh, excuse me.
We talked about last night. I know as well.
Luis Heel. Then,
baseball.
I mean, you know what? I should feel bad about that because I need to know this guy's name.
Right.
He was not a household name. Now he is. Right. The stuff that he's doing is insane. Rodon, all the way back. All of the question marks that this New York Yankees team had, now they are exclamation points, and now you don't want to deal with any of them. And the fact that the reigning Cy Young, arguably, I mean, actually, I don't even think this is arguable. I think it is the best pitcher in baseball when he's on the field. He is not even on your team yet. That is insane.
The fact that Nestor Cortez is the worst starting pitcher on the New York Yankees at a 3.68 ERA is blasphemous. Everybody else below a 3. 2.93. Rodon, 2.82. Marcus Stroman. Heel, 2.04. Schmidt? Clark Schmidt. We have a running joke on our podcast channel on the Blue Jays Today show where Nick has to go take a Schmidt. That was like 2 years ago, I think that was established. Wait, to force a rally, we got to take a Clark Schmidt. My God, Clark Schmidt is elite. Maybe you're channeling that eliteness.
I guess so, man. At this point, I think you just need to give you need to give a tip of the cap to the New York Yankees, their coaching staff, their developmental staff, everything that they've done. Because obviously you do have that star power in Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, but the way that they've been able to cultivate this team and bring out just the best in everyone is wild, man. And it kind of leads me to, I guess, my next thought. Is this good for baseball as a whole? Because when you look at the MLB in its entirety this year, I see some very top-heavy teams.
Yeah.
Some is, and I look at, there's 4, actually. There's 4 squads to me that are better than everyone else by a wide margin, wide margin.
Dodgers, Baltimore, Yankees, right?
That's correct. Yeah. That's correct. And when you look at the statistics in terms of ERA and OPS, they're all 4 of those teams are top 4 in all of that, right? It's Yankees are first in this and second in this. Dodgers are first tier, third there. Those 4 squads are just way better than everybody else.
Right.
If I could bet my life on it, I would say that one of them is going to win the World Series. I have no idea which one because they're all fucking good. but one of
Yankees-
them is going to win the World Series.
Yeah, Yankees rotation is unreal. Even if they lose a couple guys, they're still going to be a great.
They're fine,
postseason
and they're all
team.
going to be buying too at the trade deadline.
That's another thing too. It's like, I mean, Yankees. We're going to talk about buying later, but they need a first baseman that they can go get.
Get one.
Go down the. I don't even know what it is in New York, but like go across the city. Go grab Pete Alonso.
Take the subway, put him on the subway, and bring him back to the Bronx.
Now you were asking like, is this good for baseball? I think. In a way, yes, it's great to have like super teams, and like if everyone's kind of on the same field, it doesn't really feel like there's an enemy to go take down. I think that's what fans rally behind is like we gotta go take down the Bronx Bombers, the LA Dodgers. Which I guess in a way is somewhat good if there are other teams that are also competitive, and that is actually what I'm seeing this year. We're going to talk about trades later, but I think there's going to be a ton of buyers this year. When I look over at the NL and I see the third worst team, the New York Mets. They're still 3.5 games out of a wild card for some reason. And yes, they're going to be selling at the deadline. But fourth worst team, the Arizona Diamondbacks, 1.5 games out of a wild card. So you have all these teams still around that playoff window. You might see a lot of teams that are going to go and try and outbuy all the big guys at the deadline, pay up and try to go take them down. Because anyone at the end of the day can win in the postseason in a 5-game series, 3-game series.
I mean, I hear where you're coming from there. I guess from my standpoint, yes, there are competitive teams. And when you look at the records, it's like, okay, you know what? We're not that far off from these guys. I just don't see a reality, though, right now, right? It's still early in the season. I don't see a reality where you don't see Yankees, Phillies World Series or Orioles, Dodgers World Series. Like, I just don't see any other squad at this current juncture being able to take down any of those 4 squads.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, baseball in a full season, like I love the regular season because it's like you grind and you really prove, and it's a testament of your strength and your roster built up. But at the end of the day, like anyone can lose a series,
right?
Anyone can lose a series. I mean, look at again, bring up Toronto Blue Jays. Look at the Blue Jays Baltimore series last week. 4 games, they split it.
Right,
Game 5, like anyone could really win that one, and like we're not even close to the Baltimore Orioles.
No.
But that's why I think. I do love the beauty of the postseason that, yes, you have these juggernaut teams all year, but really anybody can make it deep if they get a little hot at the right time.
Yeah. No, I do hear what you're saying right there. And honestly, for the game, I hope that there is going to be that Cinderella story that, somebody, you do make it to the NLCS or ALC or whatever it is up against one of these juggernauts and like, oh, what is the Cleveland Guardians doing here? Like, how did they get here? And they're making the push for the World Series or whatever the story is going to be. I love rooting for the underdog. I think everybody does. However, all of that being said, tip of the cap once again to these 4 fucking juggernauts for doing what they're doing.
Hey, I want to throw out there before we move on, who's going to be the Cinderella story this year? It's hard to predict because it's still so early, and I think the wild card standings are going to change. I could see the Cubs being the Cinderella story. Imango, you got some guys over there.
Cinderella story. What qualifies as a full-on Cinderella story right now?
They're good. But they can be really good, but they're probably not going to get the win total of the New York Yankees. Because for example, like you had 86 wins for the Diamondbacks, or was it 84? It was something like that last year, and they go on a historic run. I mean, again, it has to be whoever gets hot at the end.
Yeah,
but then again, they went on and beat a lot of good teams. They beat the Dodgers. They beat all the good teams in the NL to get to the World
I'm not
Series.
sure if this would qualify because they're probably doing a bit better than what a Cinderella story maybe should be. But I could see a reality just with some of the youth, the excitement, the way that they play baseball. I could see a reality where Kansas City Royals kind of come out of the woodwork here and, oh, look at Bobby Witt putting up, an incredible series, leading a squad, moving forward. Or Sal Perez doing some ridiculous stuff. And now all of a sudden here we are and we're a couple games from the World Series.
I agree. I think them, Cubs, even Pirates. I didn't even think about this.
I don't know. That might be a little too spicy for me.
Jones, Skeens, I was listening to Jeff Passan talk about this on Talking Baseball. Like how often, and he actually talked about the point that we talked about last week where, when is Paul Skeens going to get injured? It's going to happen.
Yeah.
When is Jones also throws 100? When is he going to get injured? There's never a time when you have these 2 young dudes throwing 100 and are healthy at the same time. If one of them gets hurt, boom, there goes half of your star rotation.
Right.
why don't you cash in now? Your lineup's decent enough. If you add a couple pieces, why not cash in now? That's another thing.
Because you're last in the division, that's why.
But you're also one game out of a wild card.
I do hear that, and I think that, you yes, on the surface, like Skeens and Jones and everybody, like that, that pitching staff is going to be phenomenal for years to come.
Right.
I just don't know if I believe in the lineup enough. I don't know if I believe in some of their other pieces enough. Like, I feel like when you're looking at some of these other squads like Kansas City and the Cubs, like, there's a few pieces that they could get that could put them over the edge. I think Pittsburgh, like, I think you need a lot. You
do. But and I keep wondering about the Pirates, like how long they've been in a drought. Kind of what you brought up to me last week with the Tigers being like in a drought for so long.
Right.
And it comes down to an ownership thing. Like, are they willing to go and compete, or are they willing to go and buy? And if they do make that switch, then you could add a few pieces and maybe squeak in, be the Cinderella story.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's possible. I was going to bring this up when we got into the whole trade conversation, but I guess I'll bring it up now because we're kind of on that wavelength. But speaking about squads that are looking to potentially be buyers or sellers at the deadline, obviously a clear buyer at this point is the Baltimore Orioles. We're talking about them being one of the best teams in all of baseball. But then I thought twice about it, and I was like, well, they've done such a good job at building this foundation from within of developing all these prospects and just turning them into super players. They still have several guys in the top 100 of baseball in terms of prospects and everything like that. Their system is cracked out of its mind. I have no idea how they did it. Whoever the developmental and scouting person is over there, that guy deserves all the money. Yeah, exactly. I want him. That guy deserves all of the money in the entire world. But I guess the question is, if you are the Baltimore Orioles, obviously you have a World Series team right now. You could 100% hoist the trophy, go all the way. But do you trade away some of these prospects to, buy in right now, or you just keep doing what you're doing because it's working?
I mean, you have the luxury to go do it for sure. I'm looking over at their team and dude, first of all, their lineup, they were over in Toronto the other day, and 1 through 7 has an OPS over the average.
They don't need
the average. They don't need any more hitters, right? They're so good. But then I was like, okay, well, what about their rotation? They don't really need any more pitchers either. They have one of the best rotations in baseball. Maybe you go and add, I don't know, a pen guy. I'm looking over here, and it's kind of tough to see. I'm trying to find right now their bullpen ERA, and it maybe add that. That's it. They're so complete. You have the luxury where even, yes, if you trade one guy away, well, you still got 6 more in the top 100 according to baseball, MLB.com. Why not? Sure. Why not? But it won't hurt you if you get one dude, because that's all you have space for. You don't have space to go make a big overhaul of trade deadline guys.
Yeah,
get maybe one.
Yeah, that's true, right? I guess if you're them right now, you don't need to trade for the big piece that's going to cost you an arm and a leg, right? You don't need Louis Robert Jr. You don't need some of those other guys that are going to legitimately cost you maybe even 2 or 3 of your top 100 prospects. You bring in a guy or two for whatever, and you are still a super team, just more so.
So I got their numbers here. Their bullpen is 4th in baseball, 3-8.
There you go. So they're legitimately top 4 in everything.
Go get Tanner Scott and feel really good.
That's the thing.
Really
good.
If you really want to secure it, go add on that one more piece. I feel like that's all they need. It's just maybe a one more piece kind of guy.
Right.
I mean, that's it. Maybe go add the top arm in the starting pitcher. Whatever. Who cares? It won't cost you that much because, it will, but who cares? Because the market's going to be very competitive this year, and they're the one team that can go out and really spend it.
They could absolutely spend an arm and leg if they wanted to, if they choose. That is the right decision moving forward. Maybe they want to take a little shot in the dark, though. Maybe they want to fire a dart off. Micah Parsons, how about that guy coming into the MLB, hitting bombs? He recently
Disclaimer,
came
he
out.
is not coming into the
he's
MLB
not. He's
hitting bombs.
No. He is Micah Parsons. I mean, I imagine probably the people that are listening to this are aware of who he is, but if you're not, incredible linebacker. I hate to admit this because I hate the Dallas Cowboys, but incredible linebacker and just player overall in the NFL for the Dallas Cowboys. Top 5 defensive guy, assuredly, just phenomenal. He came out recently and he said that he believes where he's at right now, he could hit 200 in the MLB. Tyler Glasnow then came out and responded to that. And he was like, maybe 5 hits and 500 at-bats or something.
5 hits and 500 at-bats.
5 hits, 500 at-bats. So Tyler Glasnow was
0.010.
Is that what that would be?
Maybe. I don't think.
Okay, I mean, nothing at all. Obviously not even close to 200. So Tyler Glasnow is saying, hell nah, dude. Like, listen, you're good at football, but you ain't all that. What are your thoughts on on Micah Parsons, coming out and saying that as a whole? And do you think that, do you think that athletes, some of these guys, could walk into the MLB and just immediately start playing?
Did you see Caleb Williams take swings in the Cubs?
Yeah.
He was taking swings with. I mean, look, some sports are transferable in terms of skills. We were just talking about golf and baseball, somewhat transferable. Tennis and baseball is transferable. Football is one of those sports where, maybe with the arm, if you're a quarterback, but you're a defensive end. What transferable skill? Maybe rugby? You know what I mean? But I don't see a transferable skill in baseball in terms of hitting. Sure, maybe he played baseball back then. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. This guy used to be really good at baseball. But even if you played high school baseball, maybe a little bit in college, that is not even close to the level that you'll be facing in the MLB. What I need to see is off season. I mean, they're maybe not the off. It's got to be January, so maybe spring training because that's the only times the two sports aren't really going to be in season. I need to see Tyler Glasnow going up against Micah Parsons. I need to see that right away. That needs to be a pay-per-view event. We're going to have 10 at-bats. Can you get 2 hits? That will be the determining factor.
Let's put it this way. If he got 500 at-bats in the MLB, do you think he gets more than 5 hits?
No.
No? Yeah?
No. Oh, more than 5 hits?
More than 5.
Shit. Yes.
I think he probably gets more than 5.
A lot of people could get 5 hits. Sometimes hits are fluky.
Right.
I think a lot of people maybe I'll give them 0.91.
Right.
Maybe 0.91.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know how many hits that works out to be. You guys let us know in the comments. I mean, one of the guys that obviously comes up or comes to my head is Michael Jordan, because he did that whole thing where, obviously we know Michael Jordan, incredible
Sox,
basketball player, comes to the White Sox.
What did he hit?
In Double-A. So I pulled up his numbers right now. In Double-A, he was 31 years old when he did this in 1994. He hit for a 202 batting average. Now keep in mind, that's Double-A. Right, so not even the MLB, 202 batting average. So we did hit that over that 200 mark, but significantly less competition than what what Tyler Glasnow would be throwing or anything like that. Is there anyone out there, I don't even know what the best way to put this is. Who would be the best athlete that's not playing baseball right now that you could 100% see playing baseball and being very, very good?
Anybody in tennis.
Right.
Anybody high velocity with spin coming at you, and it's the same motion. Look at Bo Bichette. Maybe someone in tennis. Maybe Roger Federer. I don't know if he's still around. Is he retired now?
He's I think he's on his last leg, or if not retired, going to be retired.
One of those 20-year-old Spanish guys that I saw. I saw him over at the
Novak Djokovic.
Yeah, exactly. Give me one of those guys. I'd take those guys over Micah Parsons any day. Any day. Again, all you got to do is make contact and put it in play, and you'll find holes.
Yeah,
you'll find holes.
Is there any football player out there that you think could come in and not? I don't think. Look, I don't think anybody.
I know.
Go ahead.
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray played baseball.
He got drafted by the A's.
Yeah.
And he was a shortstop, Kyler Murray. Easy.
Kyler Murray could play baseball. Easy. I think actually Patrick Mahomes, his father was a pitcher, and I know played baseball. Well, he's also too you know that he's deep in the baseball because he's even part owner in the Kansas City Royals, right? So he's clearly
he's raking it in now.
That's a thing, right? I feel like and with some of those guys, see, I don't know what Micah Parsons' background is. Maybe he was like Kyler Murray. Maybe he did play a bunch of baseball growing up. I kind of doubt it just by looking at the guy. He looks like a football player to me.
Right.
But I know Patrick Mahomes and I know Kyler Murray. I think it would take them a while, obviously, and I have no idea what level they would be at. But if they really did put in the work for a year and just grinded out baseball, I think those guys, just being the athletes that they are, could do it. I think they could figure it out.
Kyler Murray will be the next Altuve. He came up as a shortstop. He's getting moved over to second. No way.
No.
Although he's got the arm, though. That's the thing.
That's the thing. You're a quarterback, so you can absolutely whip it.
Exactly.
Know? Can you field the ball, though? I don't know. Well, man, this guy would be massive with the stolen bases. Yes. That's the thing, too, right? Like, I think about some of the guys in the NFL. If you could, some of the wide receivers.
Lamar Jackson. Would be nasty. Nasty.
Lamar Jackson is that would be I feel
that's
like
your
Lamar
center fielder right there with
yes.
a cannon.
Yeah. I mean, he's got incredible defense, a cannon of an arm.
Dude, Josh Allen actually was pretty good. Josh Allen's I've seen him take with Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
He's taking BP. He's not bad. He's hit homers.
I could see him be like he honestly maybe it's just the similarities of kind of they look the same, but he kind of reminds me of like a Pete Alonso. I could see Josh Allen just hitting nukes.
Not as much burgers in him, but
no. Oh, he's still a bigger guy.
He's bigger.
You know?
He's like 6'6"? Josh Allen?
It's something like it's something ridiculous. You know, obviously like not a whole lot of gut on Josh Allen though. Like he's just like a big boy, but he could 100% hit nukes. Folks, let us know in the comments who would be I guess your chosen non-baseball player to play baseball. If you had to choose somebody, who would it be?
Let us know, guys. All right, really quick, guys. We got to shout out the next segment here. This one's sponsored by Greta Bar, King Street, Toronto. They just opened up. They're in Edmonton. They're in Vancouver. Super dope place. You can go get a gaming card. It's pretty dope, dude. They got Twister. They got basketball. They got dance floors at night. Turns into a club. We're actually doing an event for our other channel, Blue Jays Today. June 30th, we'll be doing an event there. So if you know of the event, check it out. We're doing a little giveaway too, some Toronto Blue Jays merch. Greta, super dope place. But they're sponsoring this next segment. I want to bring this up on the train of just kind of like fun conversations. Did you see the guy who ran on the field?
Oh, I saw him.
Oh, yeah.
It was tough not to see him.
He did the backflip, dude. And then he did the backflip not knowing that the police officer was right behind him.
Yeah.
The fact that he didn't even, absolutely kick this police officer in the face.
It was close.
It was very
close.
close.
The knee came very dangerously close to that guy's head.
Oh, I know. And then the fact that, he lands it. Oh, crap, he's right behind me. He's running. That officer whips out the taser. Boom.
Yeah.
That was a highlight reel.
Listen, maybe this was a little contentious, but I was looking on social media and seeing the clip, and then I saw the comment section, and this is just how things are. Yeah. Everybody was very split. There was some strong opinions here about how this guy should never have pulled out the taser, or how, on the other side of things, it's like, well, this guy's a literal dumbass right now, ran onto the field. You know what you're getting into. Oh, yeah. You're risking injury and getting tased here. You deserve to get tased by doing that. What do you think is the right call there?
Oh, yeah. If you're going on the field, get ready to get wrecked, kid.
Right.
I think this guy's 19, so I can say that. Get ready to get absolutely wrecked.
That's the thing.
You get tased, you're going to get tackled, you could break an arm. Get ready for it. That's what's going to cost, and I think you have to know that going into it. So who cares?
It's open season.
It's open season.
That's the thing, right?
Obviously, you're not going to kill the dude.
No, of course not.
That would be another level. But if you are going to get injured, get ready for it.
And I think in that specific scenario, could they have not tased him and maybe ran him down and tackled him? Sure, it could have happened, but you also got to factor in this idiot just ran onto the field.
That's what I'm saying.
This, your actions have consequences, and that is just gonna be one of them. And I guess that leads me to my next question. You guys can respond in the comments. How much money, realistically, how much money or what type of reward would you need to have? And be real with this, okay? Actually talk yourself into what is the number for you to do that? There's obviously a number.
Dollar amounts we're talking, yeah.
Sure, dollar amount, yeah. And keeping in mind, too, the consequences, you will never be allowed to go to another baseball game.
Right.
You will have to, probably spend a night in jail.
Yep.
And
probably gonna have to pay a lot of fines.
There will be some type of fine. I don't think you wouldn't have any jail time or anything like that. I don't even know if that would.
You got to pay. That's what I'm assuming. I'm still waiting. He had a court date this Wednesday, so I'm waiting to hear what the
actual if there is any charges or anything like that. I mean, if there was, it would be a minor thing. Obviously, this isn't a major thing. But you're obviously dealing with consequences, and on top of that too, you might get tased, you might
Yeah,
get, slammed, right? Like there are significant consequences.
That's the big thing. Got to think about the trade-offs right now. First of all, I would need my my money, whatever I'm paying in fines. I need that covered.
Obviously,
sure.
yeah.
I don't want to lose.
Well,
money
there's no
here.
Yeah, you need profit.
Right? Okay, so then the trade-offs. What's the cons here? Okay, I might get hurt. I'm gonna have to spend a night in jail.
Yeah.
I'm maybe a little bit of embarrassment. Maybe I'm gonna get yelled at for a day.
100%.
My parents call me.
They're gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing, Adam?"
Exactly right. I'm never gonna watch a baseball game again. I mean, in my position too, assuming I don't have a baseball channel, like that wouldn't look good for me. I don't know. Maybe it would.
That's the other thing too, right? We have, we do have a baseball channel. Like now, everyone's like, "Oh, you're the guy that ran onto the field," and now you can talk about that.
But also, I can't get credentials.
You'll never get
credentials.
credentials.
So for me. Let me take that out of the equation, just for the average Joe. Like, let's take that out of the equation because that would raise the price for me a lot more. Because that's my career. But just an average Joe, I'd probably do it for like 10 grand.
Right.
I'd probably do it for like 10 grand.
Yeah, and again, we don't know exactly what the fines would be.
Cover the fines, 10 grand plus fines.
Right.
I'd probably do it.
That's close for me. I might be a bit more than that. I was thinking more like 20. Because there is a big level of embarrassment here.
Yeah,
it's honestly that's really what it is for me. I just wouldn't want to have to listen to my mom, because she would fucking talk. She would give me a talking to, man.
What about if like job interviews like pull up like you and then like your name comes up and you're reckless, you go on fields. Ooh, actually, now I'm thinking about that because that's another con. It's another con.
Well. Okay, do you think that they'd find that though? Like
maybe
they looked up Adam Peddle online and
maybe
you're.
I mean, if I'm an average Joe and I'm not like I don't have a podcast or anything,
yeah.
Maybe that's the biggest thing I've ever done.
Right. Okay. Maybe you're right. That could definitely be a bit more for sure.
50
feels pretty good. I feel like if somebody
good.
was legitimately offering me 50. I might just say screw the consequences and be like, I'll deal with it later.
Because then also the pro, like, I mean, you'll get your 15 minutes of fame.
Sure.
Maybe you can like ride that. And
can you turn that into a career?
That's what I'm saying.
Like I'm the tased guy.
Yeah, I sneak into MLB ballparks.
Yeah.
I run out the fields.
That's the thing. Yeah. So can I film it? Can I make a whole video vlog about this and then post it out later?
I'm the new Nelk, but I run on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
something there, guys. Not condoning that or anything like that, but just saying for 50 grand, I might consider. Let's move on, guys, and get into the entire trade conversation. Final shout out before we do to Greta for being absolutely phenomenal, guys. Go check them out. Cavan Biggio, former Toronto Blue Jay, gets shipped off to the LA Dodgers. Now, granted, this was after he got DFA'd by the Toronto Blue Jays, but kind of the first notable trade, I'd say, of this season so far. Since the season started, there's been some other very small stuff.
Louis Arias, probably, but this isn't the most recent one.
True, yeah, I did forget about Louis, but yeah, most recent one for sure, and you feel like this is kind of going to be, I would assume, anyways, like the first domino of many to come with the trade deadline ramping up. Talk to me a little bit about your thoughts on that whole Cavan Biggio deal to the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense for both teams, right? When you look over at the Dodgers, you've got a middle infield. Yes, you've got Mookie Betts locked in shortstop. I don't know how that guy's an athlete. Okay.
Yes. I think that guy could play base or football. Honestly,
wide receiver, no problem.
Yeah,
whatever you want. Actually,
you can literally do.
You can be a safety, like whatever you want.
You ever watch this guy roll a bowling
ball? Oh yeah, he's
holy shit.
This guy could be a bowler.
Have you seen him play golf before too? I've seen Mookie Betts play
too.
Insane,
unreal.
Insane.
That's what I want to see on the golf.
Mookie Betts
thing, yeah, him, Ohtani.
Oh yeah,
versus like Aaron Judge, Soto, or something 100%. Like that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, dude. I'm with you.
But my thoughts on the trade is yes, there was a need. They had Chris Taylor and Gavin Lux over there at second base. I think people were saying Gavin Lux wasn't good defensively. I think he's actually not that bad. He only committed 2 errors this year. But they wanted another sort of offensive push. Now, is Cavan Biggio the guy to do that? Like, maybe not.
I'll tell you right now, no.
No, because the last 4 years, here's the thing about Cavan Biggio, because we're close with the Toronto Blue Jays. His playing time was completely shot for the majority of the last 4 years. He had that one stretch in the second half of 2023 where he got regular playing time over at second base. And I think at the time he was also doing a little bit of right field. And you saw the numbers tick up. It was about like 750, 760 OPS. Okay, great. He had that little stretch. And then right again, new season comes in. David Schneider takes over the job pretty much every day. He's his role's been diminished. And now the numbers drop. So for me, it makes sense if you want to roll the dice. If you're committed to giving Cavan Biggio an opportunity, which he did get immediately, first game with the Dodgers, starts, gets a hit, looks okay. I think he committed an error actually in the last night's game. But look, it makes sense. Blue Jays always need more pitching. You get Braden Fisher, nobody really. Fourth round former in 2018. Shoot your shot, and go get it. Like, you got DFA. No, you were a little bit surprised that we even got anything for Cavan Biggio, because I know you've been really down on Cavan Biggio.
Well, I mean, it's impossible not to be down on him. The guy's batting .204 this year. Like, he's got an 80 OPS plus. I don't think that Cavan Biggio has it, but this is going to be a true test of that LA Dodgers developmental staff, coaching staff, all of it, guys, because what they have done year in and year out is get the best out of their players. Now, granted, they obviously have some top-tier talent to do that with. Freddie Freeman, it kind of makes your job easy. Ohtani makes your job easy. Mookie Betts makes your job easy. And countless others make their job a lot easier. Cavan Biggio will not make your job easy. Cavan Biggio will make it fucking hard as holy hell, dude, because this guy cannot swing a bat at the MLB level consistently. The amount of times that I've watched Cavan Biggio strike out looking, when the entire conversation around Cavan Biggio was his eyeball is incredible. I agree with that to a point, but there is also a point where his decision-making is terrible, because maybe he'll recognize that it's a strike, and he just doesn't swing anyways, right? And he's done that time and time again. So Cavan Biggio going over to the LA Dodgers, I truly wish him the best. I want to see him pop off and it's the resurgence of Craig Biggio. Here he is, and we're getting on base like crazy, and we're setting the table for Ohtani and Mookie Betts, and it's all incredible. Cavan Biggio doing it all. I want that for him. I think he's an incredible man, an incredible guy. I have not seen him become an incredible player yet. LA Dodgers, work some magic. It's going to be tough, but we'll see if they can do it.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, you got to realize what you're getting out of Cavan Biggio. Career, 7.4 WAR. That's like what? Averaging like 1 point, a fraction every year. But that's what you're getting.
But look at the first two seasons. Right. A lot of that WAR came in the first two seasons.
Right. And here's the thing. Cavan Biggio, I think the league figured him out very fast, and the Dodgers, like you're saying, the Dodgers coaching staff needs to sit him down and maybe take him to the batting cage and go, dude, we got to change your two-strike approach. Your walk rate, like I was looking up his baseball savant right here, walk rate's great, 10.4%, one of the best in baseball. Great, absolutely amazing. K rate, 3.13. Look, he doesn't chase at all. His chase rate is one of the best, but it's because he's not swinging.
He doesn't swing. He doesn't swing.
You have, if Cavan Biggio changed his approach even a fraction, it's the same thing I say about Bo Bichette, except reverse. He needs to change it. He needs to go more towards Cavan. Cavan needs to go more towards Bo Bichette. If you just offer to have borderline pitches on two strikes and you change your approach, you might be a better baseball player. I mean, his contact rate is really bad.
Listen, you will be. You will be.
Because his whiff rate is average. It's a little bit above average at 23%. So if you just start swinging at two strikes and you cut down your swing, you are going to be Cavan Biggio of the past. You might see very similar numbers.
I agree with you, man. It's, can he actually do it? Because anybody can go and stand there in the box and take all the pitches, and then, people are like, oh, he's got a good eyeball. But really, I'm just fucking standing there. I think he needs to be able to swing the bat and actually hit with some authority.
I think Cavan Biggio, and again, never met the guy, don't know the guy. I think he might have a tiny bit of pride when it comes to the fact that I can take some good borderline pitches. You got to put that part aside, man.
Dude, you got an 80 OPS plus. You hit for a 200 batting average. There is no pride there, in my opinion. And I hope you're going to go over to an organization where you have three all-time. Well, even more than that if you count their pitching staff. But on the lineup side of things, three all-time greats right there. 3 Hall of Famers in all of them. Take a note from Freddie Freeman. Take a note from Mookie Betts. Take a note from Ohtani. Like, those guys are going to be commanding the locker room, and doing what you're doing with the Toronto Blue Jays ain't going to fly there.
All right, to wrap up this Cavan Biggio thing, last 4 years, OPS plus of 90, over under 90.5 Cavan Biggio this year with the LA Dodgers.
I'm going to go over because I think that the LA Dodgers are they're ultimately the organization is a better organization than than the Toronto Blue Jays, and honestly, like 95% of the organizations in the MLB. So I will go over. I'm not going to go crazy, though. I think that Kevin Biggio probably finishes at an average MLB player with in his time period with the LA Dodgers.
I think so. I mean, his career is a 101 OPS plus, and granted, that's a lot of that first 2 years. But granted, first 2 years, no one knew about him. They had to make an adjustment to him because the league made an adjustment where it's like, okay, well, on 2 strikes, I'm just gonna pump it in the zone. I'm not gonna fool around here. I'm just gonna pump it in the zone. So until he proves he can hit that, then he's gonna be a below average hitter.
Yeah.
I want to move on a little bit because we got some big kind of trade rumor updates. I mean, we're getting so close to the deadline. Every week it goes by, we get a little bit closer. But the Chicago White Sox, we know, one of the worst teams in baseball. They broke their 14-game losing streak finally. My God.
Yeah.
It's looking bad. But they've came out and they've said that they're interested and they're open for business for Robert, Crochet, and Eric Fetty. I think that's how you say his name. But Lou Robert is obviously the big one. Crochet by Jeff Passan is said to be one of his favorites right now on the market. I mean, young guy having a pretty good year this year and 2 more years of control. That could be a big price tag. And obviously, Robert, big price tag. My big outlook on this trade deadline is there are so many people buying in, like I said before. So many teams on the fringe. I think the White Sox have an incredible opportunity this year to fully restock their farm system with a ton of their guys, like Robert.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're not going to be competitive in the 4 years they got Robert. Go sell him. Go sell Crochet. Stock up because those guys are going to command a lot, and everybody is going to need an outfielder. Everybody needs starting pitching. What are your thoughts on just, I guess, the baseball trade market right now as a whole, and White Sox trading all these big names?
Well, I think that the White Sox learned this year how bad they actually are. And, they hit the floor of floors, right? Like, everybody thought that they were going to be one of the worst teams in baseball. This is abysmal. Like, this is historically bad, right? Like, they might end up with only 40, 45 wins on the year. Like, it's really, really, really bad. So
just to highlight that point, negative run differential of 150.
Yeah.
No team has 50 wins. They've got 52 losses.
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, we are looking at historical levels of bad here, and they have now made that realization that, okay, yeah, we are not going to be competitive in the window that we have Louis Robert Jr. It's just not going to happen. So we might as well trade him right now when the value is at its highest and he has the most control, because there's just no point in holding on to him for that much longer, right? When you look at some other squads like the Mets, like the Jays, other teams, they've been in situations before, like the Mets, for instance, last year with Pete Alonso, where they're like, you know what, we got an additional year of control. We could trade him right now because we're not doing so good, but we think that we can turn it around next year, and who knows, maybe we'll have a good season, maybe we can even extend him. Obviously, that's not what's happening. Probably in hindsight would have been better to sell Pete Alonso when you had the opportunity last year. But if you're the White Sox, you know for sure you are not going to be good in a long, long time. So I do think that you're right. They have an incredible opportunity right now to just cash in as much as possible. This is the most clear sign I think we've seen in a while of strip it all down.
Yes.
Blow it all up.
Easy.
Anything with value. Anyone who could get anything, you're gone. I don't care the contract. I don't care the age. I don't care the money. You are gone if you have value, because it's not working here. Yeah. Everything needs to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking over right now at some other guys. They also got Tommy Pham. He's a 1-year guy. Great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a 1-year guy for $3 million, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be just a nice little addition for any squad,
Yeah. Yeah, and you also got Paul DeYoung, 13 homers. We were looking at the other day. Great little shortstop, backup shortstop, maybe comes off the bench and pinch hits. Michael Kopech, their closer. Not so much good numbers, but still a guy. Sell it all.
It's all got to go.
Because right now, the only teams that are really sellers are the White Sox. The Rockies, they have a weird relationship with selling. I know Ryan McMahon was a topic, but they're for whatever reason, they love to hang on to the guys.
They're
that
always very
over.
hesitant, and I don't know why. Like maybe it's just like poor ownership, poor man. In fact, actually, I'm pretty confident it's got to be that. That's what it is, because realistically, yes, they do need to ship off some pieces, but the Rockies have never fully committed to one way or the other. It feels like they're always kind of trying to do something, but not really doing it well enough to accomplish anything, and ultimately finishing below 500 year in and year out. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. I think another team, and they do still have an opportunity to be in the race, but from all reports that are coming out, the New York Mets are going to be full-on sellers, right? It just feels like whatever they tried to build there is broken, and I think that this is just a great case study at, somebody who is really good at business and really good at, creating a strong company and everything like that. That doesn't mean that you're going to be a good owner of a baseball team and everything like that. You can throw as much money as you want at it, and you did. And I'm talking about Steve Cohen right now, obviously. But, you can throw as much money as you want at it, and sometimes it will work, right? It really will. You look at the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Texas Rangers last year, right? So there are cases where it works, but I think the first thing, and the longer that I watch sports, the more I realize this, the first thing that you need before the players, before all of that, you need an incredible coaching and managerial staff and mindset and mentality. So then when you do spend all this money and when you do bring these players in, you will get the best out of them.
Yeah, and what I also have started to realize too, why does buying not work sometimes, right? You have people on the field, not numbers. You look at numbers all day long. I want those numbers. I want that numbers. At the end of the day, the Mets have had beef with each other. Lindor's had beef with McNeil. People have been fighting on that team.
Yeah.
People play together, and what makes teams good is having that coaching staff and people who've been around the game that go to the front office, hey, we think this guy, not only is a great player, but he's going to gel well with our team. You need that kind of influence because, the Mets look like I just went to MLB The Show and just bought everything.
Bought
works
everyone
on MLB The Show.
Sure.
The casual fan and maybe the diehard fan will be like, yeah, this looks great on paper, but it all comes down to the people on the field. I think that's where the Mets went wrong.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of pieces they could sell off. I mean, we talked about Pete Alonso, JD Martinez. Again, that's like a paper guy. I don't know how he meshes with the team. I'm not familiar, but just...
He does,
he meshes in his own right, where he's doing really well right now. You can sell that guy. Starling Marte. These are all names. Harrison Bader, Luis Severino, Sean Manaea. These guys you could just easily boom, 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 sell it all, get that payroll back down, and then I guess try to rework your strategy.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, man. I mean, the New York Mets have learned their lesson. I think Steve Cohen learned his lesson. It only costed him like $350 million, which he is still on the hook for and will be on the hook for a little while longer. But now he knows, and he will be doing everything in his power to get that rebuild as fast as possible.
That's kind of embarrassing, actually. Not to throw shade at Cohen or anything. But damn, you spent that much money. I mean, I'm embarrassed for the Blue Jays spending the most in history. Yeah. And we suck. Embarrassing.
It's completely embarrassing, right? Because we're spending the most in our franchise history. They're spending the most in history ever.
And
right?
They suck.
And they're below 500. The money is not translating into wins right now. It's not working. It just goes to show how bad some of the people that run that team actually are, because you do have everyone that's on that squad has talent. They are good baseball players individually, but for whatever reason, when they put the New York Mets colors on, it is not translating well.
Bro, you know what I always think of too? I think about, and I hate always bringing it up, but the 2015 Blue Jays.
Right.
That's a team that meshed well together because they all had that mindset. Bautista, Donaldson, Marcus Stroman. They had the mindset where I am going to kick your ass. And they all backed each other. Pilar played hard. Everybody was gritty as fuck. And they dominated. Yeah, they were all talented players, but they all dominated in their own right, and they meshed well together, and they won tough games. That's a team that's a chemistry thing that worked well together.
Yeah, no, I do hear what you're saying there. I mean, in this Passan article as well, they bring up the Atlanta Braves as being definite buyers.
Right.
I was actually looking over at them, man. Like, they're not doing as good as they've done in the past. The Phillies are running away with that division right now. I think a big factor of this is the Ronald Acuna Jr. injury. Obviously, that is terrible news. Terrible for baseball. Terrible for them. Terrible for everybody, honestly. Do you see them like really going all in this year, or do you think that this is going to be a quieter year for the Atlanta Braves?
Well, when you got AA as your general manager, I don't think it's ever going to be a quiet year.
That is true. That is true.
And he actually just came out today or yesterday. He said that he's going to do whatever it takes. We're a playoff team,
right?
We're gonna do whatever it takes. What does that mean? He's probably going to make some moves.
Yeah,
probably going to do it, man. I mean, the year that they lost Ronald Acuna Jr. back in when they went to 2021.
I think so.
2021, I think they won. They made every move possible.
That's true, actually. That's true.
And they went out and got a whole new outfield.
Yeah.
And they won.
Well, and maybe this is my bad. Maybe I haven't learned my lesson right now. But you're right. Like, because that year, it feels like everybody was counting them out after that Acuna injury. It's like, oh, you know what? The Braves are really good. Acuna's down. They're done now. And we just forgot about them for a little while until they started making all these moves. We go, well, listen, that's not going to fill in for Ronald Acuna Jr. And it didn't, but it also did, right? And
absolutely.
They got the production somehow, and that is a testament also to the Atlanta Braves management and coaching staff and developmental team, and obviously AA as well. But you're right. I think even as I'm speaking this right now, I'm realizing I shouldn't have even fucking said that because, they did it before.
They did it
before.
They're going to keep doing it. And they got a beautiful, they are paying roughly around the same as the Blue Jays right now, $259 million in payroll. But whatever. Yeah. They'll make trades. They'll do it. They'll find the guys. They don't care. Yeah. I don't know what I think their farm system's not the greatest right now, but they'll make a way. They'll find a way.
Yeah.
It's AA. He doesn't care. We have a window for a long time. We got to get it going.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Folks, let us know in the comments below about all of this trade news, the New York Yankees hot start, Micah Parsons thinking that he could be a baseball player. Let us know your batting average down below in the MLB. It projected, obviously, because I imagine if somebody's in the MLB watching this, shout out to you. But I imagine most people that are probably aren't in the MLB, so let us know what you think you would hit down below.
Also, I want to hear how much money it would take for you to go on the field and you get tased.
50,
I want to hear
50K is where we're at right now.
That's what we're thinking.
50K is where we're at right now. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We will catch you next Thursday. Bye.
Cheers.